coming to you from my kid's bedroom, which you can probably see by the scruff marks. I am filming this quick and dirty for you because I meant to do it for ages. My perfectionism stopped me from doing it, so I'm doing it now because done is better than perfect. I wanted to announce a project I'm gonna be starting. It's called Rhea Rambles. Rhea Rambles is sort of a vlogcast podcast thing. I've had it in the making for quite some time. I have an extensive list of topics I want to talk about. I've prepared marketing material, but I've never gotten around to do anything. So this is it. This is the first, slightly unofficial episode of Rhea Rambles, where I'm just gonna talk about the ins and outs of the project real quick, off the top of my head. So ADHD law, I'm gonna forget the crucial points probably, but I'll give it a try. So if you've been in touch with me on Instagram and we've talked more than a few words, because sometimes honestly I'm a mum of two. I have a day job, I write, I have a marriage, we have a house, it's a fixer-upper, so my time is really limited and I often use it to write. So on my books, because I need to squeeze, every word out of every hour I can get. So please don't be mad at me if I don't answer or drop out of the conversation. It's not you, it's me, and hyper-focus probably. But that being said, if we've been in touch, you've probably been on the receiving end of Rhea Rambles. In the morning, when my meds hit, I take ADHD medication. In the morning, when they start hitting, and the coffee starts working its magic, I start rambling. And it often results in 10 to 20 voice messages on Instagram. And often I get into really interesting topics and afterwards I think, oh, that would have been lovely to share either on Patreon or on YouTube, where I'm gonna share, which are the platforms where I plan on sharing Rhea Rambles. So I have a Patreon, I've set it up. There's not a lot on it at the moment, and I think I only have like 1 or 2 Patreons right now. I am going to do it a bit differently than I had originally planned. I am going to have just one tier on Patreon, because the idea of having 3 and having to come up with different content for the different tiers really stresses me out. That's why there's not a lot on it except for the income reports, which I will keep doing. I will probably also be talking about these on video or on audio. I haven't really decided what it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be video. And when there's nobody on the receiving end of Rhea Rambles, Rambling Rhea, I talk to myself and pretend I'm talking to someone, because I think best when I talk out loud. So this is probably something really weird. I don't know if anybody else is doing it. I know one of you who is probably watching it is doing it because we talked about it. And they gave me the tip to wear my AirPods so I'd look less crazy. Love it. 10/10 would recommend. So I've been thinking about recording these monologues basically for a while, because they happen on my way to work. I go into work on Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, and I have about 10 minutes each way, And I would love to, just hook up my phone and start talking about a topic. Could be anything. I'd be super glad if you suggested topics, if there's something you're interested in me talking or hearing me talk about. Could be about my books, could be about inspiration in general, could be about writing with kids, could also be about living with less, whatever interests you. Because I've been doing some really crazy stuff implementing changes in my life in the last weeks. Because I was really close to burnout. I've talked about it. I've had a bit of bit is an understatement. I've had a really big scare in my life recently, and I'm not trying to steer away because I don't want to cry in my first video. But it was really scary. It still is, and it's gonna get scarier. So writing is even more of an escape for me. And I want to connect more, so I'm gonna keep my Patreon really, the threshold to enter is gonna be really, really low, not slow, low, German. And it's been a long day, okay? I've been writing on Zero Fucks Given earlier, for 2 hours after my day job. I'm a bit knackered. And I'm releasing a book the day after tomorrow. So the second book in a year, after being convinced that I was not imaginative enough to write a book. Okay. So anyway, it's gonna be really low, $3 or $4, probably a Starbucks, maybe less than a Starbucks. So if you don't get a coffee a month and instead decide to support me, then you're gonna get front row seats to Rhea Rambles. You're gonna get these episodes 3 times a week, probably with a bit of a delay because Wednesday and Friday are my work days for my business, for my author business, and I plan on I won't do a lot to them. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not gonna be a lot of editing or fancy things. It's gonna be me in the car. I'm gonna get one of these little mounts, for my windshield. I'm gonna film myself talk on my AirPods, which are really pretty good at noise cancelling, and I have an electric car, so it's not super loud. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna fit these in differently, maybe record them before work when I'm at my parents' or whatever. I'm gonna find a way because I really want to do this, but I don't want to pressure myself, and I don't want to have to put too much work into it, because my work isn't this podcast for now. My work is writing, but I want to do it, so bear with me. I'm gonna get better at it. I'm gonna try and edit it, and do all the fancy things vloggers do, but all in due time, okay? Because I have a pretty crazy few months ahead of me. There's going to be a 3rd Creatures and Coding novel coming out in less than 4 months, which means I'm going to be editing in November. But I really want to take you along on the ride. I'm a German, right? I'm trying. Also improving my English all the time. And sometimes when I get really self-conscious about making mistakes in English, I imagine having an English-speaking person, a native speaker, having to do a podcast in German. And then I feel a lot better. No offense, but German is a weirdly difficult language. And it's so hard to master when it's not your native tongue. Which is also why I gladly, if you have any German in your book, if you plan on having German in your book, please let me read the chapters for you. Please let me give you the correct versions, because it really goes a long way. So yeah, welcome to Rhea Rambles. This is the first episode. All the episodes are going to be on Patreon first. So if you want front row seats, if you want one-on-one chat in the comments, if you want to weigh in on the topics, I'll gladly do it. I love it. I love prompts. Love it. You can just sign up for my Patreon. As I said, I'm gonna change the tiers, so there's only gonna be one. I know most of you answered that you prefer more than one tier. But I have to do what works for me, and I'd rather do what works for me and really do it than being stressed by it and then eventually not doing it. Because let's face it, that's what ADHD people do, right? If something pressures us and stresses us out, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna, choose the easy way out. And I want this really, the hurdle, for me to do it needs to be really low at first. So there is gonna be a Rhea Rambles probably tomorrow. I'll have to see if my kids can go back to kindergarten, because you don't want to have German kids talking in the background. They're cute, but no. And thankfully they don't understand that much English at the moment. Would be possible, but I'd rather not do that. So I'm probably gonna start at the end of the week, when I'm gonna do my income report, which is gonna be the first Rhea Rambles, but these are not gonna be on YouTube, just on Patreon, because it feels a little... I used to do income reports in the past when I was blogging, and I got a lot of weird comments, and also I kind of want to know who sees them. Because people get jealous, even though there's nothing to be jealous about. This is all guesswork for me. I wrote non-fiction books in German before, so English fictional books, especially monster romance. It's just fishing in the dark for me, really. So I'm just trying my best, I have maybe a little advantage when it comes to marketing. I'm not a marketing person, okay? Totally not. But I've just been doing this shit for a while, so also I'm swearing in these videos. I've been doing this stuff for a while, so I have the setups, I have Canva, I have the tools, I know my way around, but that doesn't really give me an advantage, I think. It's just the learning curve happened a few years back. But apart from that, I don't think, I still consider myself a baby author, because I'm publishing in a completely different area, and it's not an area of expertise for me yet at all. So I'm gonna take you along. I'm gonna talk about being an author, and probably also about being an indie author and a mum, and juggling these. And I have a project, I'm just gonna talk about it real quick. I can't do short, I want to warn you, it's my life's motto, I can't do short. And I'm probably also gonna incorporate my 4B440 project, which is Christmas last year. I realized that I had 4 years before I turned 40. So I'm 36 now. That was pretty much 6 months before my 36th birthday to the day. And I was like, oh my God, half a year, and then it's just 4 years until I turn 40. And I started to make a list, the 4 before 40 list. Also, my hair is really weird today. I washed it this morning and then just put it up in a half bun, Ben style, main bun. And it's really weird, but this is me, you know, I'm taking a leaf out of Lowe's book. Or is it the other way around? This is my face, this is my hair. If you don't like it, you can either watch it without the video, just let it play in the background. I'm not mad at all, okay? Like, it's alright. It's alright. But this is my face, and if you don't like it, you've got, or if anyone, you know, not you, because you're amazing. Like, obviously, you are a rock star, right? But if anyone, you know, doesn't like it, they're gonna have to look away, because it's not changing. I'm not changing it. So yeah, this is me. I also hate wearing makeup. It's a sensory thing. I cannot for the life of me wear makeup. Oh, the worst. Nail polish is a bit different, but makeup, no freaking way. So this is my bare face. This is it. So yeah, I made a list, the 4 before 40 list. There are not only 4 things on it, but one of it was giving, authoring, writing my all. You know, use these 4 years before I turned 40. Because I once had this colleague, and she gave me a tip, and like she said, you know, Rhea, you can always change your life, but once you're 40, it's a bit harder. So if you want to implement these really big changes in your life, it's easier. It's still possible after 40, of course, it's all possible, but it's easier if you do it before 40. So that was sort of the idea. And my kids are a bit older now, so they're not as high maintenance as they used to be as babies. So there's a bit of me able to come out and play again. You know, that's not just mum. Yeah, so 4 before 40, I'm also going to be talking about the project, about what I'm doing, why I started it, what areas I am implementing, and I have a YouTube channel. It's called Fox Days. Dog days are over, Fox Days have begun, or something like that. I really like the name, so I'm gonna link that wherever. And this video is gonna be on there, and I'm gonna link wherever. And yeah, so if you can't subscribe on Patreon, no hard feelings. Most of the Rhea Rambles episodes are going to be on YouTube a couple of days later, just to give the patrons tips. And if you want to watch on YouTube and you know you're like, I really can't justify this purchase, or I can't, I'm not in a spot, or I already have too many Patreons I'm subscribed to, zero hard feelings, just wait for it to drop on YouTube. And you're still supporting me, you know. I really want to get to this threshold where I'm getting monetized. This is another goal of mine, because I always, you know, I love YouTube, and I always wanted to do YouTube. And let's see if this makeup hating neurodivergent author mum from Germany can get monetized on YouTube. Who knows? Yeah, and also I'm gonna put the proceeds back into the business, like invest in a background and in new lights, stuff like that. So I'm really excited, and it's all gonna be reinvested, because it's not intended for now as a means of financing our life. It's more a long-term investment for us. So yeah, but I'm gonna talk about it in a different episode. This was just the short introduction. 20 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, kittens. Like, follow, whatever, subscribe, I'm gonna link it all. And thank you for following my journey. It means the world to me. I know it sounds so freaking cliche, but it's the truth. This is what I always wanted to do. And you know, every morning I go on KDP and I send good vibes out there at every one of you who has been reading my books, who has been buying my books, who talks about my books. It means so much to me, and you are making such a difference in my life. And you know, I always thought that it was sort of a one-sided relationship. Stupid of me, really. I don't think that anymore. I used to. That, you know, you as an author, you poured your heart into this book and sort of gave it to the people to do with it whatever they wanted. But what you get back from readers who liked, and my voice is giving out, so I need to, you know, this is gonna be it. Just one last sentence. And I'm gonna say that a lot, and then it's always gonna be a lie. No, but getting this feedback from you, beautiful people out there, it's life-changing, let me tell you. But we're gonna come back to these topics, and I'm gonna talk about them in more detail. Also about my writing process, what I'm doing, how I'm editing. Why in the world I, as a German woman, write English monster romance. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, anything you want to know, as long as I'm comfortable sharing. Kittens, thank you so much for listening, for your support, for everything. Bye. I'll see you for the next episode of Rhea Rambles. Bye.